Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the hundreds and hundreds of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm gonna flex for the camera real quick. Just joke with you. I'm being stupid. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about in this video, and it's a video I've been wanting to make for a while. Haven't gotten around to making it, but guess what? Today I got time, and we're gonna make the video now. So, Errol Spence Jr., one of the most talented prospects in the sport of boxing today. The southpaw from Dallas, Texas, undefeated. I think he's about 18-0, 19-0, something like that. Just one talented guy. You know, you watch him fight, you see it. You see that he has the talent and the skills to one day be among the top fighters in the sport. But the reason I'm losing faith, not in Spence, but in how his career will go, in the direction of his career, the reason I'm losing faith slowly but surely is because of a guy named Haymon. And Haymon, you know, he owns a lot of fighters. He sells them all a dream. He tells them all, you know, you can have this, you can have that. I'm gonna make you a star. I'll make you the next Floyd, even though, you know, he didn't put the groundwork in to make Floyd. My thing is this: there's a ton of guys in the Haymon stable who have talent. You know, there's guys like Keith Thurman, there's guys like Danny Garcia, there's guys like, you know, dudes like of that nature, Amir Khan too. But when it comes to prospects, he has no track record of developing a prospect properly. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you bring these guys up, you don't want to bring them up too fast, and you don't want to bring them up too slow. If you bring them up too fast, what happens often is, you know, okay, they fight scrub. They fight for a title. They fight a fighter who's like 4 times better than anybody they've ever been in the ring with, and they lose. The confidence is shot, and they don't recover. If you bring them up too slow, they fight scrub, and then, you know, kind of like, you know, they'll get a title fight, but they've gotten so many showcase fights that when it comes to put your big boy pants on and really fight somebody who's a real world-class fighter, they don't know what to do. And they don't know how to face adversity. And the key is, you know, you want to put your prospects in with guys who are solid, but, you know, in matchups that you think your guy can win. And, you know, I'm going to talk about this, but this has been broken down much better than I can break it down in other videos by my main man Anthony, Thunderdome Boxing Talk. Shout out to him. He's broken down pretty thoroughly before about how guys, how like Top Rank and Bob Arum have some of the best matchmakers in boxing, and that's why they turn out a lot of great fighters, and a lot of their guys wind up turning well. You know, they put the groundwork in for Floyd. They're just seeing it now with Crawford. You saw with Timothy Bradley, and their guys wind up becoming some of the best fighters in boxing, the most battle-tested fighters in boxing, and that a lot of that can be attributed to good matchmaking. And Al Haymon doesn't really have any guys like that. I don't think he really has any guys like that around him, because if he did, you wouldn't be seeing some of these fights. I mean, what's my paper? I had it written down. You know, Errol Spence's next fight, and it's in Dallas, Texas, and man, I wish I was still living in Dallas, because if it was, I'd be there. But anyway, his next fight is his first fight in Dallas, his first local fight in Dallas. I think it'll be the co-main event with Jermell Charlo, and he's fighting a guy named Alejandro Barrera, and he's got a record of 28-2. 28-2. Now, on the surface, that sounds very good, but go look at the guy's record, and he's beaten nothing but tomato cans, bums, scrubs, taxi drivers, Walmart door greeters, whatever you want to call it. he hasn't really beaten nobody. He hasn't fought nobody that you know, that I know. And he's being brought in to get his brain scrambled by Errol Spence Jr. That's what this is about. So, this is bad. It's another prototype PBC mismatch that we've been seeing a lot on these PBC cards. And you know, Haymon don't care about his guys. He don't care about his fighters. He don't care about the guys that come into the ring. You know, he's putting in a lot of mismatches. You know, one of the worst mismatches I saw came on the Adonis Stevenson card, where Pritchard Colon fought Vivian Harris, who's a ex-champion who's shot, has been out of the ring for a while, and Vivian's clearly fighting for just the money, and Pritchard beat him pretty bad. So and really Vivian didn't look like he should have been in there. He came in to get his brain scrambled, and it hurt him. And you know, oh yeah, by the way, you know, while I mentioned Pritchard Colon, pray for Pritchard Colon. He's still in the coma. Get well soon, Pritchard. We need you back in the sport, and need you healthy again. But back to Errol Spence. You know, he's in a bad situation. He's in a real bad situation. You know, he's a great fighter. In fact, I've said this many times, and I don't think I've ever said this in a video because I haven't had a chance to say it. But when it comes to the welterweight division, and even I know Errol Spence hasn't fought nobody, but that's not the point. When you watch him punch to the body, when you watch Errol Spence's body work, he's the best body puncher in the welterweight division, and I'm saying that right now before he fights anybody. He's the best body puncher in the welterweight division, and that's an attribute I feel that when he does fight top names is going to be a huge reason he wins a lot of big fights. But in order for him to win the big fights, I feel he has to be brought along properly, because to go from fighting C/D level guys to fighting Keith Thurman, Amir Khan, Danny Garcia, guys like that, you know, it's a big step up in class. And is Errol talented enough to overcome that? Yeah, he's talented enough to overcome that, but when he gets hit for the first time, when that chin gets tested, how is he going to react? We don't know that because he hasn't been put in with a guy that can provide that, can bring that to the table. Now, are there guys out there that can give Errol some good work and make him go rounds and really provide some tests along the way? Yes, there's tons of guys like that. Not A-level fighters, but good, solid guys. You know, we have a guy like Chris Algieri, who many people were pleasantly surprised with, myself included. He came into a fight with Amir Khan where Amir Khan was, you know, he was brought in to look so Amir Khan can look good. And Amir didn't look good. I would even venture to say that even though Amir won, it was one of the worst performances of Amir's career. He did not look good against Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri was landing flush. Chris Algieri was coming forward. Chris Algieri almost put him on his behind. He buckled his legs in the first round. Chris Algieri looked really good, and there's a lot of positives to build off of. So if Errol were to fight a guy like Chris Algieri, who has a lot of confidence, who looks like a better, more polished fighter under John David Jackson, you know, that's going to be a good test for him because he's long, he's rangy, you know, and it'll definitely be give him some rounds. So give him some rounds. He can get some work in. And you know, hey, if you don't come prepared to win, you know, he's the more talented fighter, but this is boxing. You know, if you don't come prepared to win, and he can lose to a guy like Algieri. Same thing goes for a guy like you know, Luis Collazo, who we saw fight Keith Thurman in a showcase fight. Collazo he's really never won any of his big fights, but at the same time, Collazo, been around the block, proven fighter, you know, fought Keith Thurman, hit him real hard with a body shot, made him get on his bicycle and run around that ring, and he had to be really smart and cautious with Collazo. So, you know, if Errol's fighting a guy like Collazo, that'd be a good test for him. There's a lot of names out there for him. Andre Berto as well, who believes he's going to take over the 147-pound division now that he's fought Floyd and whatever. But, you know, I like Errol Spence, but I've gotten out the hype train because he's with Al Haymon. And Al Haymon, you know, is it possible that in the future he could get a guy in the boxing business who's good at matchmaking? Yeah, that's possible. I'm sure Haymon has the power to do that. He's got power to do a lot of things. But does he have that guy now? No, he doesn't. And if he did, we wouldn't be seeing some of these consistent mismatches on PBC. He doesn't know what he's doing. And You know, if he's able to get that guy to build these fighters up properly, I think he'll put him not only his fighters in a better position, you know, which I'm sure he doesn't care about. It's really about his pockets at the end of the day, but his fighters be in a better position, and he would be in a better position because they'd be more battle tested. He can get his guys more big fights for him mean more big paydays for them mean the fans are gonna be more pleased because they're seeing more matchups that they want to see, and it's really gonna help you out, Al Haymon. So if you're watching this video, which, you know, if you are, cool. If you're not, probably not, but whatever. I like Errol, but I'm not as high on him as I was probably about a year ago at this time. A year ago at this time, very high on Errol Spence. Now, I would say that guys that I'm high on moving forward in boxing, you know, I'm so high on Errol because of his skill set, but just because of who he has behind him, I'm not really high on him. You know, Terrence Crawford, I'm very high on. Roman Gonzalez, high on. Lomachenko, pretty high on. Thurman, high on. Golovkin, he's proven himself. You can't even be high on Golovkin. Kovalev, high on him. These are guys that I believe in, and every guy that I just named, you know, I believe has a chance to be an all-time great. You know, some guys have bigger chances than others because of who they're with and how good I think they are. Like, for example, a guy like Terrence Crawford, I feel will be an all-time great because number one, he's got a great team behind him in Top Rank. He's got a versatile skill set that gives him a chance in every fight. You know, it doesn't matter what style comes into the ring with him. He fights good as a southpaw or orthodox, so that gives him a chance. So I think Terrence Crawford, if he gets the right fights, enough big fights, can be an all-time great welterweight. That's just my opinion, though. Errol has a chance to be a really great fighter. He can be, but it's gonna be tough with Haymon behind him. You know, there's no track record there. We don't see him getting any better fights. We don't see him taking any steps up. He's actually taking a step down. Van Heerden, the guy he fought last fight, is about a notch and a half, two notches better than this Barrera guy, and that's the fact. So, you know, I like Errol. I think, you know, at some point, you know, okay, 2016 is done. He's got another showcase fights in this year. Haymon has to put him in tough next year. I'm not saying throw him in there with Garcia, Thurman right away, but, you know, start him off slow next year. You know, give him Berto, give him Algieri. If he's able to get past them guys, or Collazo, if he's able to get past them guys, okay. You know, give him another guy from that group. If he's able to get past that guy, okay. Then at the end of next year, he should be getting a big fight, whether that's with Thurman or, you know, Garcia or Porter. You know, he's definitely one of the most exciting fighters to watch. When you watch him, he's a great athlete, got great power, good, you know, his body work. I love his body work. I think he has the best. I think he does some of the best body work in the welterweight division as far as punching goes. But, you know, it sucks for Errol. I know a lot of that came down to, you know, the decision. You know, maybe Al manipulated the situation and got his dad to sign off, and, you know, paid his dad off, and, you know, Thunderdome talked about all this, so you don't need to listen to all I'm saying. Go watch some of his videos. But Errol was gonna sign with Top Rank. Had he done that, his career would be in a lot better place right now. And, you know, who knows? Maybe a year from now, Haymon gets it together. But as of now, there's no hope. All right, there is no hope. Errol's a great fighter, but the team behind him isn't what it should be. So I'm hoping that in the future, Errol gets big fights. I hope that he gets the fights that a guy of his caliber deserves. I hope that he gets recognition that a guy of his caliber deserves, because people are getting tired of his PBC showcase mismatch BS. All right, it's getting really old. You know, I have a friend. Shout out to my main homie, Big Alex. I got a friend, younger friend. He comes by the house. We watch boxing together all the time. You know, he just started watching boxing this year, but he loves the sport. He's really fell in love with the sport. He watches a lot of these PBC cards with me, and he's like, Brendan, this is boring. You know, these fights are not competitive. And he likes Errol Spence too. I like Errol Spence, but yeah, if somebody who's, you know, 16, 15, however old, just started watching boxing, is just not learning about the sport. If he's telling me that this is boring, that there should be better fights, that these showcase fights are ridiculous, then, I mean, why can't a guy like Al Haymon, who's bright, or guys who are around his circle, or people in the boxing business that somehow contribute to PBC? Why can't they understand this? Answer that question for me. Errol, like I said, he's a talented guy. You know, in the Olympics, he beat. You know, I talk a lot about Amir Imam. Amir Imam's a talented fighter. I'm very high on him. But this is a guy that beat Amir Imam 2 times in Olympic trials as an amateur. All right, so that to beat a guy like Amir Imam, you got to be a special fighter. To beat him twice, you got to be real special as a fighter. And Errol did that 2 times. So that's what it is there. But I'm hoping he gets it together, man. You know, I would love to see him get into some big fights with Porter, Thurman, Garcia, because these guys have been talking a lot of trash. He's been talking a lot of trash, and we just want to see these fights, man, as fans of the sport. So, Errol Spence Jr., I'm not as high on him as I once was, and I do think that if his career continues at the current trajectory it's on, you know, 10, 15 years from now, when boxing fans talk about cautionary tales, they use examples of guys who shouldn't silence certain promoters. They're going to use Errol Spence. Errol Spence is going to be a guy like that because he was very talented. He had all the skills to be a bona fide pound-for-pound fighter, but he didn't have the right team behind him, and it screwed his career up then because when he had to step up in class, when he had to fight the big names in his division, you know, he didn't know how to handle the adversity because he had not been in that situation before. And you know what? Who's to say that he even gets that big fight, those big fights with Haymon? You just don't know with Haymon. You don't. And if he does get those fights, who's to say he gets them while he's still in his prime? So there's a lot of variables. And I don't think his career is in the best of hands. And that's just my personal opinion. And you guys can let me know. Errol Spence Jr., what do you think about the current direction of his career and Al Haymon and all that stuff? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And just as him as a fighter, Al Haymon, his career. Leave your comments down below. Talk about, you know, leave a comment about his upcoming fight with this guy named Alejandro Barrera. What do you think about it? I think it's ridiculous. I think it's BS. He's getting too many showcase fights. He's stepping down in class from Van Heerden, which is ridiculous. But leave your comments down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And as always, visit TrueSchoolSports.com. And until next time, take care, guys.